Welcome to an Arreva Academy further training video focused on new features and enhancements that were added in April 2021. You can now have the deductible amount automatically calculated when entering both the amount and the value when they are different. Here's how you do that. First, you'll need to go into Administration, go to Client Defaults, and scroll down until you get to the section related to gifts. There is now a checkbox that says Use gift value to calculate deductible amount. Check it and also remember to save it. Now when you go to add a gift, let's go into somebody's record and add a donation. When you put in the amount, let's say Bill Smith here was buying 2 tickets to an event. The cost of each ticket was $50, so that's $100. But the value, you notice the deductible amount is automatically $100, but the value is less for this because $25 of each ticket goes to the cost of the event, so it can't be deducted from his taxes. So we'll go ahead and take $50, $25 per ticket. Hit that, and it automatically updates. If you don't check that box, then the amount and the deductible amount will remain the same no matter what the value is. The next feature is the ability to display the credit code or description, or both of them, within the credit code field. The credit code field is primarily used by clients that are using our QuickBooks accounting interface or using another accounting program where they're doing an accounting export and they're keeping track in the credit code field their chart of accounts, account to credit, that sort of thing. You'll notice here right now it's just showing us the description of the credit codes. Let's go ahead and back out of this, go into Administration and back to Client Defaults. And just below where we were earlier under Gifts here, you can see it says Credit Code Display Options and Gift Entry. Let's go ahead and change it to Code and Description. Hit Save. We'll go back to Bill. We'll click on Add. And when we come back here now and we click this, we'll see that both the code and the description are showing. Okay, let's go ahead and move on over to the Gift Manager, where what we want to do is we want to look at a list of gifts, and when you're in the Gift Manager, you can go ahead and update a group of gifts that you select for various things, maybe changing all their reason codes or their fund codes or whatever. Well, now we've gone ahead and actually updated this so you can go ahead and update their solicitors for them. So I'm just going to select these 3, and I'll show you right now. There's the solicitor columns. I'm going to go ahead. I already have those 3 selected. Okay, and that's what this checkbox means. I'm going to click on Update Selected, Update Gift Solicitors, and then I'm going to go ahead and select 3 solicitors, hit Save, and now when I come back and look, they have those 3 solicitors. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and take a look at Quick Gift Entry now. A couple new features with regarding to Quick Gift Entry that have been added. The first one is that you'll notice there's now a counter next to the Quick Gifts Entry. What this is indicating is that there are gifts that have been entered into multiple, could be different templates, but it's the total number of gifts that have been entered into these quick gift templates, but have yet to be actually transferred over to the records that they've been added to. Because when you do quick gifts entry, you're actually adding them into a table, but then they need to be added to the records the gifts are going towards. So you can see that with this particular one here, my direct mail annual 2021, I have 2 donations, and that's why it says 2 here, that need to be added to their records. Even though I've added the gifts, they haven't truly been added to their records yet. So I will show you how to do that in a moment. What I do want to point out, though, is another new feature that we've added with Quick Gifts Entry is the ability to see not only the expected total and the actual and the difference, but also the user expected total. So now different users can have different expected totals for a particular template, a Quick Gifts Entry. All right, in this case, I'm entering 500 gifts for this particular thing, and the expected total is 1,000. Somebody else will come along maybe later and add another 500. So I'm going to go ahead and actually clear out this right here so that it goes ahead and moves those gifts over to those records. So I'm going to click on Save and Clear. I could do Save and Batch, but I'm going to do Save and Clear. And it says, please select the gift. And you'll notice that this number then goes away once it's saved. Gifts were created successfully. Move on from there. All right. Next, let's go to the Grant module. And in the Grant Manager, for those of you that have this particular module, we've gone ahead and added the street and city and state and zip columns to this Grant Manager. So you can see them there. Let's move on to the Guest module. And we're going to start with when you have somebody in the request list and you want to move them to the wait list because maybe there isn't a room available when the time comes for when they want to arrive, you can highlight them and go ahead and click on Move to Wait List. However, what was happening is that the stay location and the stay location description were not coming over to the wait list. And we've changed that so that it will go ahead and do that. So I will click on Move this wait list. It says, are you sure you want to move? Yes, I do. Okay, I'm just going to give it this time and information. Do that. I'll go over to the wait list and I'll see her there now, Mary Elizabeth Morales, and I'll see that the stay location and the stay location description have come over. All right, the next thing that's been added with regards to the guest module is we've gone ahead and changed a field called English Spoken at Home from being a checkbox where people would just check it to being a drop-down list with a couple of selections, yes and no, and of course blank. Okay. But first, before I show you that in the guest module itself, I just want to show you where you can set it as a default here in Client Defaults. So let's go over to Client Defaults, and we'll scroll down here till we come to Guest. And just down below here, we're going to see where it says English Spoken at Home, and it's got a drop down. So you can set this as a default so that it's always yes, right? And then when somebody doesn't speak English at home, you can switch it on that guest stay record. So for instance, this particular field, I'm going to go ahead and actually add it to our guest stay add and edit screen. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to drag it and put it over here, make sure I hit save. I can make it required so that anytime a guest stay is entered, it automatically needs to be filled in. I'm then going to go ahead and go over to guests and the guest manager. Comes up, here we go. I'm going to edit this one really quickly. So you can see that it shows up here now in the guest add and edit area so that I can switch it if need be. All right, moving along, let's go ahead and close these tabs so we have a little bit clearer screen. Let's go over to communications and something that's been changed there. The mail merge tables, the mailing merge tables are used for your templates. You could pick and choose the fields that you want to include within a template, so you don't have to, of course, manually do it in the template itself. You can just grab a particular mailing merge table, and that will automatically give you the fields that you want for that particular template, and then you can enter them in the template. So you're not having to go through all of them. I just wanted to show you this new feature now. So this particular mailing merge table I have right here for gifts, I added a few things, and maybe I want to move the gift date up here actually. And then maybe I want to go ahead and change the sort order. And this is what we've added, is the ability to actually change the sort order for a particular field from ascending to descending or whatever. So you can do that with each of these fields if you want to, so that the fields are gone ahead and sorted that way within the particular table when you're accessing it within the mailing template. All right, in the report screen, under Gifts and Pledges Reports, there are two things that have been added. For gift transaction, we've gone ahead and added the entity ID number now, so you can have that show up in the gift transaction report. And in the gift tribute report, we've actually gone ahead and allowed you to show the donor's address if you want that to be included as well. All right. Finally, last thing that we've gone ahead and done is within the admin section, go over here to customize page layout. I'm just going to go and grab a table, a particular page name, let's say gifts, okay? And what we've done now is when you create a user-defined field where that's available to create within a particular page, then when you go to create it, and I'm just going to create a sort of fake one here, I'll call it financial institution, and let's copy that. Okay, and I'm going to make it a drop down. What you're going to see is there's now a question here that says, how do you want to show the values in the page? Do you just want to show the code or show the value? Okay, so this is similar to like any other code field where you can show either the code or the value. Obviously, you could show both, but this then allows you to go ahead. Let's say I want to have a couple of values here, Bank of America. Go on that one. So I'm going to have that there. You can also make it active or inactive, which is just like you can do with any other codes. And then let's say Bank of England. Let's see. Go. Save and close. And if I went ahead and showed the value, what would happen now is when I go to drop down that particular code field. So if I come over here, I'm going to go ahead and find it. Let's see right there. I'm just going to put it over here. I'm going to hit save. Go back to our good friend Bill Smith. And come over to gifts. Add a gift. There's financial institution. So it shows the value instead of the code. All right. Okay, that's all we have for this month as far as new enhancements and features. But check back next month when at the beginning of June, we'll have a video come out regarding any new enhancements and features that have been added in May. Thank you very much. If you're interested in more in-depth training or on this or any further topic, please email trainings@arreva.com.